Well, hello there again, my fellow custodial janitorial friends. I got a question, just something for you maybe to think about. What decision did you ever make to become a custodian? Why did you decide to become a custodian? Was it for the fact that you thought it was the best job in the world, or the fact if you work in a school you like being around friends, or the fact that you needed the job and there was nothing else available? Or maybe like myself, I was working in construction for many years, grew up working in construction, and I didn't want to continue doing that, and I didn't have any retirement, didn't have any benefits, and they was building this big school that I work in now, which the school that my wife worked in is attached to this building, which was much smaller at the time. And I remember coming over to the school and seeing her, and we walked through the part of the construction that they were building, and I began to look around, and I thought, they're going to need some help keeping this building clean. So I went out and started politicking, as you have to kind of do to get on the school system. It's just face the facts. It's kind of is who you know. And so anyway, I got on the sub list, and I began to sub in and kind of gotten on, and the next thing I knew, there was a position that came open, 9-month position, as a CMP custodian, working in the lunchroom. And I took that job, and I took a huge pay cut just to get my foot in the door, and I worked that job for 9 months, and then I was able to get on full-time as 12-month custodian employee, which my pay went up, but it still wasn't that great, but the benefits are pretty good as far as the insurance goes. And so I think about why I became a custodian and how excited I was when I became a custodian about the job. And then the real world set in as being a custodian. It took me not very long, it didn't take me very long at all, to realize that being a custodian is probably one of the most unappreciated jobs there is. People don't realize what you do, and they don't see the behind the scene things that keep things going, because let's face it, guys, if it wasn't for support staff in the school system, or support staff at a church, or different things like that, support staff at a daycare, the people that keep the things going, the secretaries, and the people that feed people, the lunchroom workers, and the custodial staff, and your maintenance staff, it wouldn't operate. And we know that. It's not just all about, the kids and the teachers that are here. I mean, what we do is very important, and we always need to know that. And another thing about our job is when we do something, man, in 5 minutes, I say that in the closing of my videos, in 5 minutes, it's going to be messed up, and you're going to have to do it again. That is the exact truth, especially if you work in a school and you're a school custodian. I mean, you can go clean a bathroom, you can take out some garbage, and you come back 5 minutes later, and you're like, are you kidding me? Seriously? Especially if you work in an elementary school and you clean a classroom, and 30 minutes later you walk by there and you look at it and you thought, I just cleaned that room. Look at the mess that's on that floor. And it's just job security, guys. It's job security, okay? And not taking that personal is hard to do sometimes, because you think, nobody appreciates anything I do. Well, guess what? You're here for that reason, to keep it clean. It doesn't matter whether you think anybody is appreciating what you're doing or not. You're hired to do a certain job, and that's what we do. So not taking that personal and getting upset about it, you just kind of have to let that roll off your shoulders and just go on and keep doing what you do. Yes, people don't really appreciate what we do sometimes. Some people do. Where I work, I've got some very appreciative teachers in what I do, and they thank me, and I have kids that thank me for what I do. But then you have the certain ones that when you're dust mopping down the hall of teachers and after they're talking, they are running an automatic scrubber. They won't move over out of your way. And that kind of gets under my skin. It kind of irks me. Sometimes I will bump them in the feet with a dust mop, and I might be having a day that day and a little bit sarcastic, and I'm like, excuse me, pardon me, But anyway, it's just those kind of things. Then when you put a chain up on a bathroom and you're in there in the middle of the day, and kids come by and or teachers bring a class and they're like, this is not the time that you have marked to clean bathrooms. No, this is the time that I come in the bathroom and I check it periodically through the day, because I'm sorry that it's an inconvenience for you to have toilet paper and paper towels and soap and a clean toilet to put your hiney on. That's kind of the way I look at it. That's an inconvenience for you to have those clean things. It's an inconvenience that you don't smell bathrooms when you walk in the front door. It's an inconvenience for you that, I've got to push a garbage cart through the hall, make a little racket while you're teaching class. That way, because garbage is not overflowing and there's not spilled milk all in the garbage cans in the hall. So they don't see things that way. People don't see things that way. What you do, but we know that we have a job to do, and there's certain times that we have to do that job. So don't let it be discouraging you being a custodian if you don't feel appreciated, because you're not the low man on the totem pole. Because a lot of times when you're a custodian or a janitor or whatever your title is, however you're labeled at that, you're really not labeled, okay? That doesn't define who you are as a person, all right? Because sometimes when I first became a custodian, I thought, man, I got a slum job. I felt embarrassed to tell people what I did. Let me tell you something. What we do is important, and it doesn't define who you are as a person, okay? It's just something that you do during the day, and you provide for yourself or your family or whatever reason. You're bringing home the bacon, okay? This is your payday. This is what you do. And you don't have to feel bad about what you do as being a custodian. I'm going to tell you something. I shrug my shoulders back, and I do this. I enjoy doing what I do. It's hard at times. There's days that I get so frustrated, but don't let it make you feel like that you're not an important person, or you're just the janitor, or you're just the custodian. I feel sorry for a person that looks at me that way. I'm sorry. You let me not be here for a couple days and nobody here for me for a couple days. You appreciate what I do. And I'm not out looking for gratification, and you shouldn't be either. That's not what it's about. Just go out there and do your job and just be who you are. Because when you're here, yes, that is your job. But like I said, it doesn't define who you are as a person. Who you are as a person is your personality. When you leave this job every day, you're either a husband or a wife. You're a child to your parents, that if they're still around. You are a father to your children or a mother to your children. You're a grandparent to your grandchildren. This job does not define you or something different beyond just being a custodian. So don't be ashamed of that. Ever be ashamed of being who you are. So think back. Why did I take this job? And if you're not happy in what you're doing, hey, go do something else. If you enjoy doing this, by all means, give it your all. Sometimes we need just to refuel, what we're doing. If you got days to take, vacations, different things, this building will be here when you get back, I promise. I have been off for 4 days the last week because of some sickness in my family, and I needed to be off. Hey, that's some great benefits of this job. If you have those kind of days and different things, the sick days that you build, or vacation days, or personal days, and different things like that. I've never had a job where I could do what I do like that and be able to take off and it not affect me and not lose any money in the process, because the job I used to have, if I was off a day, I was out of a day's pay. But now I'm able to build sick days and things like that. And when I'm off, man, it is awesome. It's phenomenal. And take those vacations in the summer. Those floors will get done. Take a vacation. You may say, well, I can't. Well. Listen. If you are gone, you leave this earth, or you leave somewhere else, they will find somebody to replace you. Okay? Rest. Take those vacations. Enjoy the time you're off. Don't worry about your building, your garbage, your floors, your bathrooms. Take care of it when you get back. Okay? Custodial work is hard work, and it will control you if you let it. You control the job. Don't let the job control you. So, go out there and scrub some floors, clean some bathrooms, take out some garbage, because just like I said, in about 5 minutes, you're going to have to do it again.